Have you ever wondered what kind of job you could get in the wizarding world if you were a total slacker and flunked all your O.W.L.s?
It's all fun and games when you're fantasizing about avenging your dead parents by becoming an Auror. But what are you gonna do if you're a borderline squib who hates studying?
I mean, Victor Crumb was pretty dumb, but at least he got to play Quidditch.
Yeah, Fleur Delacour wasn't exactly about to discover the 13th use for dragon blood herself either.
If you're not exactly Ravenclaw material yourself, listen up, because it's Hogwarts career day and job options for stupid wizards are kinda limited. I'm Chris Carr.
And I'm Whitney Van Lanningham.
And these are the worst jobs in the wizarding world.
Number 10, employee at the O.W.L.s post office. You thought regular postal workers were cranky? Yeah, try working at the goddamn owl post office. I'm pretty sure 98% of your day is shoveling owl pellets, and the other 2% is making sure that the dead mouse carcasses don't accidentally find their way into a first year's care package from home. Tight.
Number 9, Hogwarts caretaker. Sorry, squibs, y'all picked the short straw on this one. The caretaker at Hogwarts is responsible for patrolling after hours, enforcing hygiene, and maintaining security at the supposedly safest place in the entire wizarding world, which, if I'm being honest, that school seems wicked unsafe. Imagine being on the janitorial staff at Hogwarts. Cleaning up after wizard teens? Ugh, socks filled with expecto splooge everywhere. You've got a perpetually tween ghost complaining every time you go to refill the teepee in the girls' room. And these little monsters are so hyped up on house pride, they trash their common rooms after every Quidditch match. And Filch definitely works the caretaker position at the worst time. During the reign of the Weasley twins, gross pranks all over the school to clean up 24/7. No wonder the dude's only happy places were detention and the Forbidden Forest.
Number 8, head of the Hogwarts hospital wing. Madame Pomfrey is a down-ass bitch, and I'm gonna tell you why. Remember in their 4th year when Draco Malfoy hit Hermione with a hex that made her 2 front teeth grow to the size of a beaver's? No, that's because it wasn't in the movie, it was in the book. And if you did the reading like Professor Binns told you, you'd know that. Honestly, don't you read? Anyways, if Draco Malfoy knew a hex that could enlarge Hermione's 2 front teeth, you better believe he also knew a spell that would do the same thing to his penis. Can you imagine how many well-hung child wizards Madame Pomfrey probably had to deal with? And she doesn't even write home to your mom to tell her what an idiot you are. Magical Dr. Wizard confidentiality, you know? She also had to fix Neville's dumb wrist after he fell off his broomstick, regrow all the bones in Harry's right arm, and deal with how freaking irritating Malfoy is. That woman is a saint.
Number 7, misuse of Muggle artifacts department. Despite our favorite ginger dad working there, the misuse of Muggle artifacts department in the Ministry of Magic sounds like the worst job amidst a ton of lame bureaucratic positions. From what we see in the books, the position seems to come with barely any pay, 0 perks, and having your ministry colleagues look down their noses at you. Arthur is the head of the department and isn't shown any respect. That's what happens when you're the head of a department of 1. Unless you count Perkins, and who does? So I'd pass on this position, unless you're really jonesing to hang out with a toaster that hiccups or gloves that can twiddle their own thumbs. The ultra-mundane mysteries never cease.
Number 6, Obliviator. Which part of Harry Potter always makes you cry? For me, it's either when Amos Diggory runs onto the field yelling, "That's my boy! That's my son!" after Cedric dies during the Triwizard Tournament. Or when Hermione has to obliviate her parents so that they can't be tortured for information about her whereabouts. There's a guy whose whole job is to erase people's memories. Do you know how depressing that must be? Sure, it's funny when Gilderoy Lockhart's memory charm backfires in the Chamber of Secrets and he can no longer remember stealing all those famous wizards' identities, but can you imagine having to erase people's memories of their kids? Of their ex-girlfriends? This is basically the wizard equivalent of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Number 5, Hogwarts Express trolley lady. The most seasonal of seasonal positions is working the food trolley on the Hogwarts Express. She gets 2 shifts a year. How does she support her family? Does she live on the train? I guess it's okay if you want to eat chocolate frogs till you puke, but being trapped on a train with some sugar-fueled, hormone-filled magic kiddos would be a nightmare for any working adult. Homegirl was hitting that fire whiskey hard between cars. I started reading all these conspiracy theories about how she's like the spirit of the train. It's like, oh, rabbit holes, okay.
Number 4, dishwasher at the Leaky Cauldron. Before you drop off your job application with Tom the innkeeper, let me remind you of a few things. The Leaky Cauldron is hands down the grossest, seediest dive bar in the Harry Potter universe. That's where Voldemort was making Quirrell hang out the first time he met Harry Potter. If the only 2 people you know who are regulars at the Leaky Cauldron are Hagrid and you-know-who, I'm pretty sure it's not the greatest hangout. Plus, the split pea soup has been known to actually eat people, so doing the dishes there might actually kill you.
Number 3, Bertie Bott's Every Flavor Taster. While being a food taster would be high on my list of dream jobs, give me a job, Pringles! Being a Birdie Bot's every flavor bean taster has the constant potential of being super disgusting. Sure, all those fruity ones are delightful, but when you're tasked with nailing that distinct flavor of bogey, tripe, spew, you're bound to yak. And all, I imagine, for a few galleons an hour. So not worth it.
Number 2, Voldemort's right-hand man. The most obvious reason why it would suck to be Voldy's BFF is that you'd have to literally sacrifice your hand for him, like some kind of messed up reverse Luke Skywalker situation. But Voldemort has also been known to steal your wand, murder a Hogwarts professor right in front of you, give you a really awkward hug in front of all your school friends, and force you to get a really gnarly gang tattoo. So there are a ton of reasons why it would suck to hang out with him. Plus, like, why is he the only Death Eater who gets to wear a deep V-neck, huh?
And finally, number 1, House Elf. House Elf is one of, if not the worst job in the Potterverse. Because it's not a job, it's slavery. The rarely seen, rarely heard House Elf is a staple in wizard culture, which is super messed up. Dumbledore, why are you cool with this? We know you're okay with going against societal norms, Queen. Sure, thanks to some guidelines set down by Hufflepuff thousands of years ago, the Hogwarts house elves have decent work conditions. But then you've got other elves shaming Dobby for accepting a wage and throwing Winky side-eye for drinking on the job. A job needs some kind of perk, y'all. Give your staff some pay and dignity. Also, serious question, if house elves prepare food, is the entire staff of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter's 3 Broomsticks staff made up of house elves? Am I supporting slavery each time I go to Universal Studios? Balls.
These are the worst wizard jobs that we could come up with, but I want to know which Harry Potter jobs you'd hate to have. Maybe you don't want to be a Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
And who could blame you?
Like and subscribe to O.W.L.s, and remember, if you don't want a shitty wizard job, study for your NEWTs.
I'm gonna just burp real fast, I'm sorry you guys.
Before you drop off your job application,
Shall I take it from socks filled with splooge?